You know what's funny? How America still thinks its tech companies are automatically the most competent and innovative in the world. With their backward baseball caps and t-shirts with hoodies, we are led to believe these casual billion-dollar bro clubs in Silicon Valley are infallible geniuses. But the truth is, the rest of the world has caught up big time, and US tech giants are looking increasingly clueless and talent-starved. US tech companies are no longer competent, and in this video, we'll be finding out why. Before we begin with the chapters of this video, what, in your opinion, are the main challenges US tech companies are facing today? Let us know with some facts. Let's begin with San Francisco's living costs, which is a big part of why US tech titans can't fill their ranks with actual talent anymore. The median listing home price in San Francisco, as at February 2024, was a ridiculous $1.2 million. Thankfully, a breather from its record high of $1.7 million in 2022. That means talented engineers and computer scientists are following rational self-interest and cashing out for competitors that can pay almost as well without the insane cost of living. In 2022, more folks left the Bay Area than entered it for the first time in over a decade, according to census data. And immigration policies certainly aren't helping US tech giants with their hiring woes either. These companies love exploiting skilled immigrant workers through temporary visas and low-paid contracts when it conveniently boosts profits. But they also support regulations that make it extremely hard to permanently keep those same immigrants once trained. How competent is that? According to the National Foundation for American Policy of USCIS data, the denial rate for H-1B visas for top tech companies like Amazon, Google, Apple, and others has significantly increased from just 6% in 2015 to an alarming 33% in 2019. With only 85,000 H-1B visas issued annually, an extreme bottleneck has formed, preventing tech giants from securing talent. So, as international students graduate from elite US universities with degrees in high-demand STEM fields, companies back in their home countries are able to easily recruit them away with open arms. India's Tata Group and China's mighty tech giants can simply dangle permanent work and citizenship to lure away America's trained minds. But perhaps even more embarrassing for American tech giants is their inability to keep innovating at the blistering pace that initially made them massive in the first place. We're talking about companies whose products have hit a depressing plateau of sameness. Does the iPhone 14 really wow anyone? It's just another incremental update to the same smartphone concept Apple has been peddling for over 15 years. And consumers are catching on. At this point, competitors like Samsung's Android phones have matched and arguably surpassed the iPhone user experience in many ways. And Meta? Well, Facebook's growth has completely stagnated, with user numbers actually declining in 2022. Instagram and WhatsApp haven't significantly evolved in almost a decade either. They're still just social media/messaging platforms despite all of Mark Zuckerberg's grandiose metaverse promises that have cost the company over $30 billion so far to limited effect. And for all the talk about Google's moonshots into new areas like AI, they still remain overly dependent on ad revenue from their antiquated search business. You'd think with over $1 trillion in cash between them, US tech giants could ignite some radical new tech product categories rather than shuffle some legacy deck chairs. But that's hard when you're a lumbering Byzantine corporation answering to skeptical Wall Street investors and intrusive US regulators at every turn. Big tech bosses like Tim Cook aren't Wild West mavericks anymore. They are the establishment. The suit-and-tie crowd that gets grilled by Congress and EU watchdogs over their monopolistic practices. They can't take the same bold risks as upstarts without public backlash. That's why new groundbreaking innovations increasingly come from international players. While Silicon Valley big tech wallows in bureaucratic malaise, the center of gravity in the industry continues shifting overseas to more nimble, ambitious rivals. China, in particular, is absolutely humiliating the US when it comes to consumer tech and AI development. Companies like Tencent, Alibaba, and Baidu are at the cutting edge of fintech, retail tech, computing, and AI, rapidly leaving their stagnant US counterparts in the rear view. Thanks to their control of China's entire internet and over 1 billion users, they have an insane scale and data advantage. Tencent's WeChat app, with over 1.2 billion users, has evolved far beyond just messaging into an entire mobile ecosystem, including payments, ride-sharing, e-commerce, and more. Alibaba facilitated over $1.3 trillion in gross merchandise value across its online retail platforms in 2022 alone, according to their financial reports. Meanwhile, Baidu and relative newcomers like Tianqi are leading the charge in AI, deploying large language models trained on trillions of data points from China's entire internet infrastructure of over 1 billion users. Silicon Valley simply cannot access or process information at that scale. Due to regulatory constraints and public skepticism around data privacy, neither can these American companies keep up on the hardware front, where Chinese manufacturers like Oppo, Vivo, and Xiaomi now produce amazing economical smartphones, while Apple rests on the overpriced incrementalism that we seem to have grown accustomed to. Beyond China, other global hubs for technical prowess have clearly emerged. South Korea now completely dominates mobile and semiconductors through Samsung. India is unleashing a torrent of elite engineers and homegrown tech giants like Tata. And nations like Israel remain unrivaled cybersecurity experts, with companies like Check Point leading the way. Instead of dominating these industries, the US is actively helping train the very international competition that will render its tech establishment obsolete through asinine immigration and trade policies that leak expertise abroad. If America's tech giants want to regain their innovative competency edge, they need to urgently rethink their talent, R&D, and global strategies. They should start by aggressively lobbying for easier immigration of skilled foreign workers. No more of this short-sighted H-1B visa BS that just churns and burns the best global minds. Those elites need incentives to permanently stay in the US rather than get recruited elsewhere. Forget prioritizing shareholder value through buybacks and dividends. US tech giants need to double down on genuine R&D and incentivize their best people to pursue long-term, high-risk moonshots that create entirely new product categories and business models. They have to learn from China's state-backed tech ambitions and Elon Musk's vertically integrated vision and goals beyond just monetizing existing platforms. And while they're at it, Silicon Valley should drop this "we're smarter than everyone else" hubris, as the competition has clearly caught up and passed them by in key areas. For far too long, we all bought the hype of America's tech elite and their virtue-signaling talk of self-improving innovation, while they presided over an aging, stagnant empire. But now, global competitors from China to India, Israel to South Korea are rapidly introducing the major tech advancements and product breakthroughs, while US techies keep tinkering with rehashed platforms. This view of how the disruptive tech pioneer became the complacent industry gatekeeper should serve as a deafening wake-up call in Silicon Valley, Seattle, and other American tech hubs. Because right now, the only real disruption they're delivering is to themselves by resting on their glory days of yesteryear. This kingdom has been gradually decaying from the inside out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content.